Hi guys, welcome to another web development tutorial, exactly HTML tutorial. I'm Josef Bodnar. I'm continuing this series of web development tutorials, and today I'm going to talk about table, about this HTML element table. The table is used in HTML to display information tabular on a website. Obviously, in practice, you will meet probably another use of the table, not just to display information tabular, but in my opinion, this is the main using of this HTML element table. In order to create a table in HTML, you have to use table element firstly, like I'm doing now in this editor bracket. As you can see, this element table contains two tags, an opening tag and a closing tag. This closing tag contains this backslash extra than this opening tag table, and inside this table element I'm going to build the table, and if I need a header for my table, I'm going to use th element in order to build a header for my table. But first of it, I should use this tag tr to build the rows of my table, and exactly to build my header of this table, I'm going to use first this element tr, which is using as well two tags, an opening and a closing tag. Inside this tr element, which is going to create my first row of this table, and this row will contain the header of my table. In order to create the header, I'm going to use this element th, which contains another two tags, a open and closing tag. Inside this th element, I'm going to write each part of my header, which actually represent a column. I want to build a table which will display information about various countries and the continent where they belong, and the population. That means the first column of my header will be country, will be named country. Another column of the header will be the continent where the country belong. So I used, as you can see, another th element. So here is going to come the continent. Last column of my header, using again this th element, will be the population. Let's save this. Here you go. As you can see, if you have a look on the left side, I already launched this browser, the Google Chrome browser, using this live preview of this editor bracket, and this is my header of my table. Yeah, and you can see I've got these three columns: country, continent, population, displayed on my web page using this element th. If you want to give a name for this table, you can use this h1 element, and I'm going to name it countries. Yeah. Save and refresh. Here you go. Further, if I want to build another rows, I'm going to use again this tr element, and inside the tr element I'm going to build the columns using this td tags. Yeah, the first column, here I'm going to write the first country, let it be Germany. Yeah, the next column will be the continent where Germany belongs. So it is Europe, and the last column, using the same TD element, will be the population of Germany, which is about 83 million. Yeah. So let's write here million. So save and refresh. As you can see, this part of code appeared on the website. Yeah, the country, Germany, the continent where the Germany belongs, Europe, and the population of Germany 83. So this is another row. Actually, this table contains two rows. It's about this one, which contains the header of this table named countries. It's about this header. And you can notice that the header is highlighted, is bold, because I used this element th to create this header. And another row was created using again this tr element, and for columns td element, which are these information displayed in the columns, Germany, Europe, and the population 83. If I want to create another rows, I should use again this tr element. Inside the tr element, I have to use again td element, and I'm going to write another country. Let it be United Kingdom. The continent where the United Kingdom belongs is Europe, and the population of United Kingdom, it is about 66. So now this is another row of the table. Save, and now appeared inside the table this row, which contains three columns represented by country: United Kingdom, continent, Europe, and the population of United Kingdom 66 million. And I'm going to build the last row using again this element tr, and I'm going to build another three columns inside this row using this td element. I'm going to write the next country. Let it be the United States. The continent where the United States belong is North America. Yeah, and the population of United States, which is about 327 millions. Yeah, save, and here you go. This row appeared on the website. As you can see, all these three columns represented by country: United States, by continent, North America, and by population 327. So I stop to build this table here, just to resume what I have done so far. So I built this table. I named this table countries using this element h1. And in order to build a table, I started using this element HTML element table. For rows, I used this element tr, for header th, and after I built again rows using again this tr element, and for columns of the table I used td element. As you can notice, I don't have borders for these tables. Usually a table has a border, but it's not something bound. You can display information without using a border. You have different options. You can use the old method, which is to use attributes inside this element table. In order to have a border, you can use this old attribute border. and I'm gonna to give a value, let it be 1. Actually this value 1 represents 1 pixels. Save. Yeah. And in this moment then you can see the border appeared on the website. I can change the value with the 10 pixels, for example. Save. And as you can see now the border is thicker, thicker, as you can see. You can do more with this, not just to set the border using an attribute. You can, for example, to insert space between these cells using this attribute cell spacing. And I'm going to give for this attribute another value, let it be 10, for example. Yeah, save. And as you can see now, this cell spacing attribute insert space between these cells, around these cells, as you can see. Yeah, it's very obviously. If I change the value, this will be more obviously. Yeah, let it be 20. Save. And you can see the space around the cells was increased. Yeah, you have a solution if you want to move the content of the cells, or if you want to insert space in between the content and the edge of the cell. You have this option to use this attribute, cell padding. Okay, let's save again. All right. Now you can see how the content was moved to the center, to the middle, because I used this attribute cell padding with this value 10. If I change this value with 50, for example, to be more obviously this, you can see how the size of the cell was increased, and all this content came more to the middle, to the center. So this cell padding actually will insert space between the content and the edge of the cell. But I'm going to remove all these attributes, because nowadays these attributes are not used anymore. As I told you, the use of those attributes is an old way to create a style for a table. If you want to create a style for your table, I suggest you to use a cascading style sheet using this element style, which has a open tag, as you can see, and a closing tag, which is using this backslash. Inside this style element, you are going to use various selectors, which actually are the HTML elements used inside this body element. So first I'm going to use this HTML element table as a selector here in CSS. I'm going to create for table specific styles like background color. Yeah, so I'm going to use this background color beige for table. Yeah, and I'm going to create this border using this property border 2 pixel, which is the thickness of the border. The type of the border I want to be solid, and the color black. Yeah, and let's save, and let's see here on the website. As you can see now, this border appeared, which is outside of this table. I don't have a border, as you can see, for the cells, for the columns and for the rows, because I use this property border just for the table. So this will create this border outside, as you can see. 2 pixels is the thickness of this border. If I change this from 2 to 10, for example, let's save this. And as you can see now, the thickness is bigger. So I don't like that, so I'm gonna to remove it, and I'm gonna to leave these 2 pixels. Yeah, I did that just for you to have a look how this works. Yeah, if you want to create the style for header, you have to use the HTML element for header, th as a selector here in CSS. The same for tr for the rows and td for the columns. Yeah. Okay. And I want again to use this property border to set a specific border for the columns and for the rows of the table. The thickness I want to be 1 pixel. The type of the border I want to be again solid, and the color black. I want to use as well padding, so I want to move them to the middle using this property padding and the value 10 pixels. Yeah, and let's save. And as you can see now, the border appear inside this table because I use this property border, which with these values, and all this content was moved about to the middle because I use this padding. If I remove this property using these symbols for comments, and I'm gonna to save this, you can notice now the content is stuck on the edge of each cells. And if I'm gonna to use this padding, save, and now it looks much better. The content came to the middle. Yeah. Okay. Also, if I want inside this table the border to be collapsed, I can use this property border collapse with this value collapse. Yeah, save. And actually the border inside of this table was collapsed. Actually the border got thinner. Yeah, I don't have that double border as it was before. If I want for my header a different style that the rest of the table, I can use this th as a selector, and here I'm going to use another properties. For example, if I want the color to be different, like blue, yeah, for my header, I can set another font family, like Arial, yeah, or I can increase the size of the font using this property font and with this value 1.2 em. Let's save and let's see what happened. So as you can see, the color was changed because I used this property color. Yeah, for header is blue now. The font family was changed as well, and the size of the font is bigger. I want it to be highlighted. This part of the table is a header. I mean this part. Okay, so you can do more than this. For example, if you want to create for some of your rows in the table separate colors to be easier read, you can use a class. Yeah, for example, here I can use for these rows, for example, for the first row of the table, inside of the table, this attribute class. And I'm gonna to give this value of this class, let it be blue. Yeah, and the same class I can use here for the last row, the same class blue. And I go further, I go back here inside the cascading style sheet, and I'm going to create a class using the value of that class attribute in HTML using this dot and the name of the class blue, and inside this curly brackets let's write the property which I want to use for this class. For example, background color, which I want to be blue, and the color for the text I want to be white. Let's save this, and now you can see on the last row what I have done here inside CSS. But I go to check in HTML as this style should appear as well for the first row, and I don't know why it didn't appear. So here is the problem, because I write this class here inside this closing tag, which is not correct, and I have to paste it here. Again, save. Here you go. Now it's correct. So now you know how to set different properties for different rows. How I have done this: I create a class here inside HTML code, and after I went back to CSS code, and I used that class, in my case blue, and I used different properties, different style, as a different background color, this blue, and a different property for the color, this white for color. This is done in order to be able to read a table easier. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I'm waiting for you to watch other my video tutorials. See you next time.